Guten Morgen, welcome to a new reading vlog. It is Monday the 6th of April. We're getting our oven fixed today, which means I should probably go clean the kitchen. Yep, I've got some chores to do. I'm currently reading 4 things, but one is on the back burner till the weekend, which is It's a Whole Spiel, which is a bind up of short stories. But that's on hold till the weekend. You'll see that again on the weekend. I'm 150 pages into Radiance by Catherine M. Valente, which I'm really enjoying. So I'm like a third of the way in. I slammed through all of that like yesterday evening. So I'm hopeful I could get this done like by tomorrow, like finish it tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm also reading Lovely War by Julie Berry, which I just started this morning. I'm buddy reading this with Paige from Pages with Paige. And we're aiming to get to page like 93 today, which I can definitely do. So I'm going to be reading that much. I'm already on page 20, I think. Yeah. So I've got another like 70 pages of that to go, which will definitely happen today, no problem. And then I'm listening to The Upside of Falling by Alex Light, which I'm hopeful to finish today as well. I don't have a whole heap left of that. And I got some chores to do, so I'm going to go listen to that while I do my chores and then get to work, because obviously I still got to work. Do some work today and then, yeah, chill out. My next audiobook, once I finish that, I think will be Spell Hacker by MK England, but I'm tossing up a couple of things. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to stick to yet, but that will probably be it, I think. Oh, I should actually tell you what I think about these, not just what I'm reading. So I won't talk about Lovely War yet because I'm like hardly into it, but Radiance is, I was saying last night to April that Catherine M. Valente's stuff is like so good because everything, they don't feel like they're written by the same author. Like they could be different authors and they're so artfully crafted to like match the theme. So I've read from her Deathless, which is a Russian folklore fantasy mythology kind of thing, and it was beautiful. It read like a fairy tale, like a very dark fairy tale, and the way the writing worked just really worked for that. And then I've read Space Opera. So that one's like The Bear and the Nightingale on steroids, Deathless. That's how I described it to April. Space Opera is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets Eurovision, and it really read like a hitchhiker's book. Like it had the same kind of style of comedy, and it was really, really good. This is also really good. This is Hugo Cabret in space. And people have like compared it to House of Leaves, which I read last month, and I think that's more about the non-linear storytelling and the use of different formatting. So it's all kind of like interviews and stuff, and it's kind of non-linear, which I really like. It's really clever in that way. So like they all have completely different writing styles, which I'm so impressed by. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. We're following Severin Unk. She's a filmmaker. Her father was a famous filmmaker. She's like always been surrounded by film. And in this world, Thomas Edison patented color and sound film and racked up the prices. So no one could originally afford to make movies with sound or color, and then it became like a status thing that when it became affordable, because obviously that wasn't gonna make him any money if no one was doing it, he brought the prices down, but then it was a sellout kind of thing to make color or sound film. So it's like not culturally appropriate, like no one wants to do it. So her dad did these gothic silent films, and she wants to do like talking documentaries, and it's a lot about, oh, and then also in this universe they have the planets, the solar system exists, but they're all habitable, I guess, to an extent, every planet and the moons and stuff, and so it's like set in the 20s, but people live all over the solar system. And on Venus, they call them callow whales, and they produce a milk that like increases your bone density, like improves your bone density so that you don't like get the astronaut stuff where you lose your bone mass. And so it lets people live in space. It's super weird. But so she's doing a documentary about Venus. But it's all told not in a linear format. It's like from film footage she shot, but also her like kind of boyfriend at the time and her father, and it's kind of telling her life story from all these different people, and it's really well constructed, I think. I was only a third of the way in, so I'm interested to see how it ultimately plays out, but it's super good so far. I'm really enjoying it. And then the upside of Falling is just a fun contemporary. I don't think it's anything super special, but it has been fun and entertaining so far, so there's that. So I've read today's section of Lovely War, so I'm like 90 pages in. I'm loving this. The writing is so good, and I'm already emotional about the characters, which is exactly what you want. The chemistry is so good. The chemistry is just so good. I just don't even, yes, phone. I'm having a lot of emotions. This is really easy to read and really fun and engaging, and a little bit heartbreaking. I don't know, it's just so good. Like, I totally get why people love this. I am thoroughly enjoying myself and kind of glad that Paige and I are buddy reading it, so I'm gonna have to pace myself, like I can't zoom through it. But yeah, so I finished today's section of Lovely War. I gotta go back and do some more work. I'm gonna edit a video and do some more worky work. And then there's a short story I want to read that came out the other day, which is a new one from Matthew Riley in the tournament world. It's not for the owls, but I'm gonna read it anyway. It's only like 50 pages, like ebook pages, so it's gonna be tiny. And then I'm gonna kick in on Radiance, but because I finished my audiobook, when I get into my work again, I might start the audiobook for Spellhacker. So I'll let you know later what I thought of that. I love working from home when the servers cut in and out because everyone is working from home. I'm struggling. So I've been listening to Spellhacker. I'm only like half an hour in. So like barely started. But I did listen to a short story. It was called Roger Ascham and the Dead Queen's Command. It's by Matthew Riley. It's like a 1.5 to the tournament. And the tournament's kind of like, what am I? My brain is blanking. It's Sherlockian. Roger Ascham's a historical figure that is meant to like loosely be the inspiration for Sherlock. But this I think was just like not clever enough. It was a bit predictable. It is really short. It's only like 50, like less than 50 pages. But it just was, yeah, a tad predictable, fun, but a tad predictable. So I give it 3 stars. I'm enjoying Spellhacker so far, but yeah, I've barely started. I'm not even sure I know the main character's name. I'm tempted to look that up because I feel like I've just missed it. But they did a heist about magic. Diz, that's her name, that's right, Diz. So, but I'm having trouble connecting to the servers and stuff at the moment. So I might put that down at the end of the chapter to listen, to pick up Radiance for the next little while and watch some YouTube while I'm reading. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'll listen to some more while I'm cooking dinner and things like that. You know, that good stuff. But overall nothing dramatic. Yeah. Good morning. I didn't end up reading much at all last night. I think when I talked to you last, I was talking about reading Radiance, and I didn't do much of that. I read about 50 pages, but I like went and made dinner and then played like 15 minutes of Animal Crossing to get some daily, like, visit the Able sisters, and then because Jessie was working on it very fastidiously to make a beautiful island for us yesterday. And then I was FaceTiming with Paige for most of the evening, and the plan was to read while we were going, but we ended up talking more than reading, which is fine. It was great. So I just didn't get as much as I'd initially planned, I guess, of Radiance read. I got about 50 pages, which is impressive considering how late I started, and my normal capacity for like zonking out of an evening. So we did good. So I read 50 pages of Radiance. I also listened to Spell Hacker on audiobook while I was making dinner, and I ended up getting through 80 pages of that, because apparently now that we're in a pandemic, I can listen to most audiobooks on 2.5 speed. I don't know, like it depends on what I'm doing. Chores, 2.5 is fine. Doing work at the same time, probably not. But chores, 2.5 is good. So while I was prepping dinner, I listened to a lot of that. So we got through 80 pages. I'm enjoying it. It's a really interesting world and magic system, and I really like the diversity of the characters. We've got a non-binary love interest, I think. Everyone's different sexualities and stuff. It's really cool. And it also features chronic illness, presumably a lot of mixed race stuff, but I'm very bad at picking up descriptors when I'm reading, especially by audiobook. So don't hold me on that. It might not be, I'm not 100% sure. But the main character is narrated, like the narration is done by a Latinx woman. So I'm guessing the main character is Latinx, if nothing else. I'm not 100% sure about the racial descriptors at all, because I'm bad at picking up descriptive language. I've talked about this before, but I'm not a particularly visual reader, and I don't tend to formulate pictures in my head based on descriptions, so they kind of just go in one ear and out the other. I tend to take in action better than I take in description. That's just a me thing. Or character dynamics. I love character development and plot. I'm less there for descriptions, just in general. So yeah, today's plan, stop eating my hot cross buns, sissy. I'm gonna read more of Spell Hacker while I'm making soup and stuff. We got plans for soup. Stop it. And I'm going to read the next section in Paige and my buddy read of the love of It's Just Lovely War, which will put us to about 180, page 180. 179, yeah. So I'll be reading that this morning. I low-key, Radiance is such a fast-paced read. I low-key want to kind of challenge myself to finish it today, even though I didn't read as much as I planned yesterday. I was going to finish it today, but then I didn't read as much as I planned yesterday. But I still have only like 200-ish pages, like 210 pages, and I read 150 Sunday night after having read like most of Witches of Ash and Ruin during the day. So I think it's achievable. We're gonna try to finish this tonight. That's where we're at. That's what we're gonna try and achieve. But I do obviously have to do work today. I can't do nothing. I've got a yoga class this morning, and yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Did I say I was gonna finish Radiance yesterday? I read a whole like 28 pages. To be fair though, my friend and I got on FaceTime and we were having a great time, so I forgot to read. Then I watched like 3 episodes of Nailed It, cooked dinner, had dessert, watched like 3 episodes of Glow Up, went to work, got distracted talking to people while I was at work, read 28 pages. That's kind of how this went. So I'm gonna try and finish it today, seeing as I could have finished it Monday, didn't. Said I was gonna finish it yesterday, didn't. I'm gonna finish it today. I'm gonna make myself finish it today, because I want to get started on the next thing. I'm also I am up to date on Lovely War. Obviously I haven't read today's section yet, but I did read yesterday's section yesterday. This is my buddy read with Paige. I'm really enjoying it. I'm mentally prepared to be heartbroken, but I hope I won't be. But it is pretty setting me up for heartbreak. So I will also endeavour to read my section of this today, but I think I'm going to start the day working on Radiance, because I've been starting on Lovely War every day. And Radiance is kind of, once you get into it, it goes really fast, but it's hard to pick up, if that makes sense. It's a bit dense and mind-boggly, so it's hard to find the motivation to pick up, but once you're reading it, it goes by really fast. So I think I'm going to start with this and read at least a page like 310 kind of area of this, which is like just under half of what I have left, before I even consider Lovely War. Might even just try and work through all of this first and then switch to Lovely War. But we'll see how we go. I'm really loving this, but it's just, yeah, hard to jump into, but it's so good. So I'm gonna drink my coffee and start on this now, then I'm gonna go shower and do some work. That's kind of where we're at. Yeah.
To start, oh my gosh. So tomorrow I have booked Luna and Oscar in for the vet, because at the dog park the other day, Luna got a bite on her paw and she will not stop licking it. It's like a...
So I did finish my work earlier. It's the afternoon. I finished my work and then we ended up having some food and watching the rest of the season of Glow Up, which we started yesterday, I think I mentioned, and now I'm sitting down to try and finish Radiance. I have about 120 pages left. 110, 120 pages, which I think is doable. Do you know what we're gonna have for dinner? Because I'm kind of not hungry. Like, I don't know, I'm just all over the place. Motivation to cook is not there. I'm not super hungry, but vaguely bored for food, so we'll see what we end up eating. But I'm, yeah, gonna try and work through this, and then I might FaceTime April. We'll see. We'll see. So I just got off FaceTime with April. So while I was FaceTime with April, I finished Radiance by Catherynne Valente. I had a hard time deciding what I was going to rate this because it's so strange. So strange. I was talking earlier about how it's entertaining while you're reading it, but hard to get into. And I think that's because of the formatting of this. This is told in like a mixed media format with different like scripts and kind of things. It's all a movie that is all these different components, and it's very bizarre. Some of it feels more fictional, some of it feels more non-fiction. It's all spliced together. It's a thing. It's a whole thing, and it was very confusing. And I think I enjoyed my time reading it because it was super entertaining when you're in it, all the different elements, but it was a lot, and figuring the actual plot progression and what it was trying to achieve was at times difficult. And there were also sections that I was not a fan of, particularly the like noir sections. I thought felt too dense compared to the rest of the story. It just felt like out of its depth dense, if that makes sense, like compared to everything else. And my favorite bits were all the like script scenes, like the film scripts. So I ended up giving it a 3 stars. It's like a high 3 though. Like I do recommend this. It's somehow really good, but also incredibly confusing at the same time. And I just don't feel like I got as much from it as I got from her other stuff. Like space opera, I loved so much. I just kind of like hit all the right funnies and beats, and even then it was super weird, but I loved it. Deathless was kind of the same, super weird, but I really enjoyed my time. I think I gave that 4 stars. This, I think I just kind of missed a few key elements that didn't quite deliver for me, but I'm not quite sure why they didn't quite deliver, you feel. But yeah, so I went with the 3 stars, but I did and ah over it a little bit. I said to April, I don't know whether I want to rate it a 3 or a 4 stars, and she said, well, I can't help you with that, and I went, alrighty. But yeah, so 3 stars for Radiance. This completed the Divination Charms. I mean, Divination Owl. I don't think it's gonna focus. There we go. And yeah, so that's that was for my career as well. So that's another prompt down. I'm now reading my 90 pages today of Lovely War for Paige and my buddy read, which I'm also really enjoying. But a totally different ball game. But it is super well written. And I'm going to start, though maybe not tonight. We'll see how long it takes me to get through the 90 pages, but I'm going to start next The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd-Jones, which is for Ancient Runes, which is another one of my required, hello cat, another one of my required subjects. So we're going to start that as well. I'm also halfway through Spellpacker now, which I listened to while doing some random stuff this afternoon. And I really am enjoying that. I think it's really interesting. It's a great look at like disaster queers. It's, yeah, fun. I'm enjoying that. I don't know how else to describe it. I'll talk about it more like in depth, I guess, in my wrap up, but like it's magical but techy, and it's very queer and super fun, but dealing a lot with like disaster queer is the best way to say it, because it's like traumas, but also how they affect interpersonal dynamics, and like it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I'm gonna put Radiance away. I'm gonna go grab a glass of water, and then I'm going to dive in and finish this section of Lovely War. And then if it's still a reasonable hour, I'll read a few chapters of The Hearts We Sold. So I just finished today's section of Lovely War. My heart. My phone going off. My heart. I'm a mess, low-key. It's so romantic, and like all the chef's kiss chemistry. I'm also the discussion of race in this is making me really sad, and I'm heartbroken for them all. War is tough, but like I think this is the like perfect balance of a war story of like the romance and the like hardships of war. I feel like sometimes they can be a bit dreary and dense and a bit too heavy on the hardships. This is like the perfect balance. Oh, it's so good. I'm emotional reading it. Okay, never mind, I was laughing at the message I just got from Paige. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed now, but tomorrow I'm gonna read the next section and then work on The Hearts We Sold. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I'm loving this book. I understand why everyone has been giving it 5 stars. Hi, welcome to a cozy afternoon. What have I done today? I've finished an audiobook. I finished listening to Spellhacker by M.K. England. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. I don't even know how to describe it. So basically the premise is that it's like a like a kind of modern world, but with magic. And magic is tied very closely in with the technology. And they mine the magic from like the core of the earth. And it's all very tightly controlled. And so our main character is part of a like group of thieves that siphon off some of this magic and sell it for big bucks. But then they take a deal that goes wrong. And so it's kind of on that vein. So it's like a heist novel kind of, and also a little bit of a dystopian shitty government kind of thing, and it's a whole host of queer characters, and it's super like disaster queer in the character dynamics, and I loved it a lot, especially the character dynamics. But I think it just didn't quite, at least the audiobook didn't quite pack full punch on the plot for me. So for that I gave it a 3 stars, but it was still really good. It's kind of like a border over 3 and a 4. And I also read half of my today's section of Lovely War before work this morning, and I'm just slowly into read the second half now. And then after that I'm gonna crack into The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd-Jones, which is my next read. And then I've also been listening to the new audiobook for Tales of Beetle the Bard, which is really short, but I'm having fun with it. It has lots of sound effects, and a lot of the actors from the movies do the narration, but whatever. I don't like supporting JK, but like, I have such a nostalgia, I can't, yeah. But we are reading that. It's pretty short. I'll probably finish it later today. Hi, welcome to Good Friday. If you celebrate Easter, I just finished Lovely War by Julie Berry. It's like midday. I'm about to go make some lunch. Oh, it's nearly 1. I'm gonna go make some lunch, but I just finished Lovely War. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm giving it a 5 stars because, like, emotionally, plot wise, it's all like perfect. The only little problem I have, it's not even a problem, I just wish that the different points of view of the different gods had a bit more of a change in narrative voice. I think the audiobook, listening to the audiobook would really improve that because it's a full cast narration. But just like only reading physically, they all kind of blended a bit. Like you couldn't really distinguish a writing style between the different characters, like the different gods, I guess. But overall I loved this. It was so good, and I really liked the ending. Heartbreaking, but hopeful. So it was very, very good. I did really enjoy it. I'm gonna go make lunch, and then I'm gonna crack in to The Hearts We Sold. So I started this last night. I'm about 60 pages in. I want to try and get through most of this today. I just love this cover with my whole heart, but this was not at all what I expected. I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but when I dove into it, it's a lot more like what I've read so far. I mean, character D, she's on a merit scholarship, and the school is out of money, so they're taking away the merit scholarships, and she really wants to stay at this fancy boarding school because she hates her home life. Understandably, when you explore that a little bit. So it's a lot about like family abuse, I guess, or at least in the 60 pages, but they're in this world where demons have like come out of the woodwork, and they give people deals for body parts. So I'm pretty sure she's selling her heart, but I'm just getting now to like what the deal is that she's making, like the details of the deal. And I'm interested to see how that's going to play out throughout the rest of the book. I'm really curious. It was kind of not what I expected, but also I don't know what I expected, if that makes sense. I've also started The Luminous Dead by Kat Starling. Kat Starling. I'm enjoying this so far. It's a claustrophobic horror caving story. I think everyone's heard of it by now. And I'm really enjoying it as well. I don't know, I'm like 17% in. Having a good time. Anyway, I'm gonna go make some lunch and then crack on into The Hearts We Sold. Well, it's Saturday night and I've got a full-on FaceTime, but I just finished The Hearts We Sold. I think I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. It's really good. I don't know how to talk about it. Oh, I better put myself on mute. It was just so good. Very entertaining. It was super fast paced and was not at all what I expected. It's much more contemporary vibing than I was anticipating, but it's got a good message. age and it's well developed. It does have really strong features of family abuse and family violence, so if that's triggering for you, keep that into consideration. But this was really, really good. Something kind of held it back from being a 5-star, but I'm not quite sure what. Whether it was like that the plot didn't go quite as far as it could have, I'm not sure. But beautiful cover, beautiful book. I would definitely recommend it. This was really good. Alright, so I just slammed through The Empress of Fortune. I ended up giving this 5 stars. This was so good. It's a Imperial Chinese fantasy. It's really looking at like the, oh god, look at this hair. I just like shoved it into a bun. But I look like a man. What is going on here? I'll fix that in a hot minute, but for now we'll just cut my fucking hair out of the frame. It's really looking at like the politics and the brutality of like succession in Imperial China in this fantasy setting, and it's honestly so beautiful. I would recommend this so much. It's just stunningly written. It's very like soft and quiet, but also very brutal at the same time, and I really loved it, so I gave it 5 stars. This was for potions. The Hearts We Sold was for ancient runes. The Hearts We Sold was the second to last out of my career that I have to do. I still have to do charms, but I'm waiting for Ruthless Gods to arrive, so my plan's just to finish every other owl and then, or until it arrives, and then if it doesn't arrive once I finished all those, I'll read something else that could be a charms stand-in. So this was for potions. I'm gonna start tonight when I get to work. I'm about to go to work. I'm taking with me Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens, which is for Muggle Studies. I'm super excited for this. I don't even really know what it's about, but I'm so ready. This is Lala, or Kayla from Books and Lala, is one of her favorite books, so I'm real excited about it. But yeah, this was just so stunning. So stunning. Good morning. It is actually good afternoon. It's like, you see the time, it's like 1:30 Sunday. I am about to kick into, I work at 4:30. I'm about to kick into Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. I mean, I started it last night while I was at work. I'm 75 pages in. I'm enjoying it. We basically follow Billy and her group of friends that obviously live in this small town. It's all about small town dynamics and friendships. I do think the one thing that's keeping me back from like fully loving this is that it's small town Christian area, like, which is very US to me. That idea of like a small town Christian mentality, that everybody's religious and everybody's there for Jesus. And that's just not my experience. And I don't really feel that same like connection over religion that a lot of, especially US centered people do. Australia's a little less religious overall. And I have never been raised religious. So that component I'm not really connecting with. Billy's dad is like the youth group leader. He might be the leader of the whole church. I'm not really sure. I don't understand church dynamics either, so I don't really know. But it's a lot about like friendship exploration and gender and sexuality and all that kind of stuff, and I'm enjoying those aspects. But yeah, I grew up in a small town, but like not this small and not this religious. So like learning those kind of dynamics is interesting, but kind of keeping me a little distant from the story. But I am really like enjoying the dynamics, and I like the relationship dynamics between the characters. I could totally see this whole friendship group as like a polyam web, and a polycule of sorts. And I like the exploration of gender and sexuality so far, and I'm presuming that's something going to go further. But yeah, the god aspects, I don't know. But I'm gonna try and finish this today. I feel like it's possible. I feel like I could do it. It's not that long. I'm like 25% of the way through, I think. So it's really not that long. So we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna crack in. Hola. Did I tell you the vlog that I was trying to finish Jessica's for Small Towns last night before the end of the week? Alas, I did not. I'm pretty close to the end. I've been reading it a little bit this morning. I got to page 255 before falling asleep. But this is because mid-afternoon I took a nap when I had work. And then I didn't like read anything between my 2 evening shifts. Because I was eating and like watching YouTube and stuff, so I just didn't read. So between a nap and like getting distracted with other stuff, this didn't get finished, but I'm gonna definitely be finishing it today, so you'll see that in next week's vlog. What else were we in the middle of? I'm also in the middle of The Luminous Dead, which will be happening in next week's vlog. I also didn't get around to reading A Story and It's a Whole Spiel yesterday. That'll be in next week's vlog, because I'll be reading that all next week. We've been playing Animal Crossing. That's kind of where we're at. I'm loving this so far, other than the God aspect, but it's growing on me. Like, I feel I can see how it fits into the story. It's just not a personal preference of mine, but yeah. I don't even know how to talk about books anymore. I just like gush or hate. But I will see you next week with another reading vlog. We're gonna make cheesecake today, so look forward to that. In the vlog, I don't know how much I'll actually be able to like film of me making cheesecake, because it could get a bit messy, but I'll show you the end product at any rate. And because it's obviously Easter Monday, I'm not doing work today, so I'm going to be reading a lot of Animal Crossing, reading, progressing. I want to try and finish my hour subjects this week if I can. We'll see. And other than that, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.